Let's dive right into this explainer and start with a massive number, 1,000. That represents the staggering 1,000 hours of collective work it actually took to build the computer vision pipeline we're going to dissect today. We are going to break down exactly how a combination of cutting-edge AI models can take raw footage of a basketball game and completely digitize it. We're talking tracking every player, reading every jersey, mapping every movement, and grading every single shot. But listen, before we start assembling our code, we absolutely have to acknowledge the nightmare that is basketball vision AI. Just picture the chaos of the court for a second. Players are moving incredibly fast. They overlap constantly. And those jersey numbers, they are tiny, blurred, and frequently hidden from view. Traditional tracking methods just completely fall apart in this environment. So welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to demystify a highly complex machine learning pipeline by basically tracking a single frame of data straight down the assembly line. We'll look at the exact tech stack used to overcome all that court chaos and turn raw pixels into precise tactical data. Here's the roadmap for our assembly line today. We'll kick things off with the vision challenge, move right into detection and tracking, explore how unsupervised clustering automatically sorts teams, decode those jersey numbers, map everything to a 2D court, and wrap up by tracking the actual shots. Let's get to it. Section 1. The Vision Challenge. To solve a challenge this massive, we're going to treat our AI models like a staff of highly specialized assistant coaches, right? Because no single model can do it all, so we need a dedicated expert for each specific task. Here is our cheat sheet of exactly who handles what. First up, we have RFDTR, acting as our scout to locate the players. Then, SAM2 steps in as our focus tracker, following players at the actual pixel level. Next, small VLM2 is our stats guy, zooming in to read the jersey numbers. And finally, YOLO11 acts as our tactical coach, finding those specific key points on the court to anchor our entire map. And to power all these models and stitch them beautifully together, the pipeline relies heavily on two main Python libraries to really do the heavy lifting. The first is Supervision. This acts as the visual engine. It handles drawing the bounding boxes, generating frames, and filtering out detection so we only see exactly what we want. The second is Inference. This is a vital library that honestly saves massive headaches by automatically loading our fine-tuned models from the cloud and optimizing hardware management so the whole codebase runs smoothly. Section 2. Detection and Tracking. So let's see how our scout, RFDTR, actually finds the players and how we keep track of them once the whistle blows. Now, you might be wondering why the creators chose RFDTR over other popular models. Well, RFDTR is incredibly robust because of its Dino V2 backbone, which is a really powerful visual foundation model. This allows it to converge quickly on 10 basketball-specific classes, things like player in possession or player jump shot, without needing aggressive image augmentation. In fact, on standard benchmarks, it reaches higher accuracy than a model like YOLO11L, while running almost twice as fast. Okay, once we detect a player, we have to track them. Traditional trackers like SORT rely on predicting motion and matching bounding boxes. But in basketball, players cross over, set screens, and bump into each other literally all the time. That causes those traditional trackers to completely lose their targets. And that is exactly why we deploy SAM2's visual memory. SAM2 doesn't just guess where a player is going. It remembers their shape, color, and texture at the pixel level. It tracks them right through severe occlusion and high-speed chaos. Section 3. Unsupervised Clustering. Now that we've tracked the players securely, we need our color analysts to figure out which team they actually play for. Doing this manually for every single game is just impossible, so we auto-sort them. Here's how. First, we feed cropped images of the detected players into a model called SIGLib to extract their visual signatures. Then we use UMAP to shrink that massive, complex data down into a manageable 3D size. Finally, K-means clustering acts as the sorter, naturally splitting those data points into two distinct groups. So even if a team randomly decides to wear surprise pink alternative jerseys one night, the pipeline perfectly separates them based purely on visual similarity. No manual labeling required. Section 4. Jersey Number OCR. With the team sorted, we hand the data over to our stats guy, small VLM2, to perform OCR, optical character recognition, on those tiny folded numbers on the jerseys. And let's be real, reading numbers off a moving, wrinkled piece of fabric is incredibly tough. Out of the box, the compact small VLM2 models started at only a 56% accuracy, often hallucinating impossible numbers like 3,000. But the developers didn't stop there. By auto-annotating and fine-tuning it on a multimodal OCR dataset of 3,600 stretched and padded jersey images, they pushed its accuracy all the way up to an impressive 86%. But detecting a number is only half the battle, right? We have to assign it to the right player. To pair these detected numbers perfectly, we use what's called an IOS matrix. That stands for intersection over a smaller area. We're basically asking the code to confirm when a bounding mask for a number sits perfectly, 100% inside a SAM2 player mask. When it's a perfect fit, boom, we lock that number to that player's tracking ID. Section 5, Court Mapping. Knowing who has the ball and what number they wear is awesome, but to generate real analytics, our tactical coach needs to map them to a 2D clipboard. To pull this off, we use something called homography. Understanding this is absolutely essential. Homography is the mathematical magic that warps our standard angled video frame into an accurate, flat, top-down layout. It uses a 3x3 matrix to basically translate a pixel on your screen into a real-world coordinate on the hardwood. But to build that homographic matrix, you need reference points. And since the broadcast camera is constantly panning and zooming, the visible lines change every single second. This makes this next step absolutely vital. A Yellow 11 model was trained specifically to detect 33 characteristic key points on the court, like the corners of the paint or the center circle. By filtering these Yellow 11 key points for a confidence score greater than 0.5, we discard all the noisy guesses and secure the 4 precise anchors we need to project the base of the player's bounding box straight onto our flat 2D court. Section 6. Shot tracking. Finally, we reach the very end of our assembly line to track the actual events of the game. But as we map these players, we immediately hit a physics problem. The homography math assumes players are glued to the floor. So, because bounding boxes bounce upward when players jump for a rebound or a shot, their projected position on our 2D map wildly shifts. It literally makes them look like they are teleporting. To fix this, the pipeline calculates the median absolute deviation, or MAD, of player speeds. If a player's frame-to-frame speed suddenly spikes beyond reality, the system flags it as an anomaly, slices it out, and smoothly interpolates the path. This crucial mathematical smoothing is exactly why this data becomes actually usable for post-game heat maps and distance-traveled metrics. And with everything smoothed out, we can finally grade the shots. Our event tracker automatically analyzes the play by looking for a sequence of visual classes. It spots consecutive frames of a jump shot or layup, marks the start of an event, and then waits during a short cooldown window. If the ball and basket class flashes on the screen before the window closes, it logs a made shot. If the timer expires in silence, it logs a miss. So taking a step back, this pipeline is truly a masterpiece of chaining together highly specialized models. You've got RFDTR and SAM2, Small VLM2, and YOLO 11, all orchestrated beautifully by libraries like Supervision and Inference. Now, currently the heavy lifting of trajectory cleanup and the sheer processing weight of SAM2 stops this from running in real time. Right now, it's an incredible post-game analytics tool. But with open source AI advancing every single day, and these models shrinking in size while growing in speed, you really have to ask yourself, how long until this 1,000-hour pipeline runs live, instantly identifying every play right inside the referee's headset?